Over the past few episodes, we've shown you why Japan is an extremely valuable market for American agricultural goods. It's the top buyer of Nebraska's pork and beef and the biggest importer of U.S. corn and wheat. As Japan's largest supplier of agricultural products, future U.S. shipments could be affected by both a demographic shift within Japan and a trade agreement between multiple nations. First, Japan is shrinking. It has one of the world's lowest birth rates, and the USDA Foreign Agricultural Service says its population is aging faster than any other in the world. Second, the future of ag exports to Japan will be affected by the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. While details of the 12-nation trade agreement are either unknown or very complicated, the pact aims to regulate tariffs, labor rights, and environmental protections. For some American groups, the TPP could be a way to overcome some of the barriers in agricultural trade with Japan.
When it comes to barriers, there are many, and they go back many years, and therefore they're difficult to eliminate.
Understanding the nuances in ag trade between Japan and the U.S. is difficult, largely because not every product is regulated equally.
First of all, you've got tariffs that are rather high when it comes to agricultural products. I think the average tariff of an agricultural product in Japan is about 19%. In the United States, it's just a little over 5%.
U.S. beef, for example, coming into Japan carries a tariff of 38.5%. U.S. pork brought into the country is regulated under a gate price system,
which is a very complex way where you have to put together a container of products such that you hit like an average price. So you put high value and low value product together to come out so the average is such that you minimize the tariff.
The duties imposed to protect Japan's most widely grown domestic crop are huge. The USDA says imported rice has a tariff of more than 700%. Japan grows more rice than the United States, but under a favorable Trans-Pacific Partnership agreement, U.S. rice might be able to more cheaply reach consumers in Japan. Nebraska Extension Public Policy Specialist Brad Lubin says Japan is trying to protect its so-called 5 sacred commodities: rice, wheat, sugar, meats, and dairy.
These are commodities that have particularly high tariffs and high protections and limited access for products from the United States and other places. It's reducing barriers on those that would increase the trade opportunities.
For the U.S. beef industry, the TPP could help regain market share from Australia. As we told you previously, Australian beef currently holds 52% of the Japanese import market. It also has a significant tariff advantage over the United States. Signed in 2014 and implemented in January, the Japan-Australia Economic Partnership Agreement, or EPA, reduced duties on Aussie beef, giving chilled product a tariff 7 points lower than the U.S. and providing a 10-point edge in frozen beef. Since Australia is also part of the TPP, the agreement wouldn't give the U.S. an overwhelming advantage, but Cargill's Tatsuo Ishii says it would be a big deal, as the EPA has already helped change demand in the country.
If we offer the same price, Aussie always gets a better deal for our customers, so that we are facing a big trend that there's shift of the demand from U.S. beef to Aussie beef. Not only with that, but that's one of the reasons. So that once the TPP is signed up, at least we can fight with our competitors at the even field.
The exact details of what might happen to specific commodities under the TPP are difficult to predict. Several U.S. media outlets have recently reported the document is locked in a room in the Capitol basement where few people can read it, and those who do can't talk to the public about it. Itachi Corporation in Tokyo, which imports more than 100,000 tons of U.S. meat each year, says the beef tariff could fall significantly, but over an extended period of time.
It's not official figure, but the market is saying that the import tax will decrease to 10% more or less, but it takes 15 to 20 years, so it changed gradually.
Itachi Corporation does believe the reduction would be favorable and increase U.S. imports. However, as we noted, Japan's population is getting older. Marubeni's Kaz Nomura says this is an important note when thinking about how the TPP could impact future meat shipments.
Without fail, probably our import volume will increase. However, the Japanese market itself, the population is almost decreasing. And then the market scale or the market volume has not been changed, or maybe a little decreasing. So that is why, even if import volume will increase, I don't think it will be a big number.
The USDA's David Miller also believes a new trade agreement would improve America's ability to export meats to Japan, even in other sectors. Miller says while the TPP might not considerably shift the market, it could make the process easier.
Some of the bulk commodities, the tariffs are at a much lower level, and they import huge amounts from us already. You won't see as many really big shifts in those areas, but to the extent that we can simplify the import procedures and some of the standards and those sorts of issues, we're going to see definite advantages.
A reduction in tariffs could obviously impact agriculture in Japan. Reducing duties on crops Japan grows a lot of, like rice, could change the market for what farmers grow. But just like the general population, Japanese farmers are also getting older. Of those living on farms and engaged in agriculture, 75% are over age 60. The U.S. Grains Council's Tatsuo Hamamoto believes there is another way demand could increase for Japanese products and therefore U.S. meats and grains.
It's not easy, but there is a market, huge market, on the back of Japan, China, and other Asian countries. They are really confident in the Japanese food in general in terms of the safety and quality. So we believe that there is a room for export of the Japanese agricultural products to those regions.
Nebraska ships 60% of its exports to TPP countries. It also ranks as one of the top 5 ag exporters in the United States. As a large supplier already to the Japanese market, Nebraska's future trade with the country will be impacted not only by the Trans-Pacific Partnership, but also by the ongoing demographic shift within Japan itself. Our coverage from Japan continues to be archived on the Market Journal website under the MJ Extras tab. You can find our reporting there on Nebraska's pork and beef exports to Japan, as well as Japan's uses of U.S. corn and soybeans.